All right, Troy here from Innovative Racecraft. I'm going over a brand new product that we've just brought to the market. We've been using for years here at our shop. It's a really convenient product that we came up with a long time ago, and I thought, hey, why don't we bring this thing to all the guys at home and all the other chassis shops alike as we move forward with trying to make things better, doing chassis work. Everybody always takes and tries to get the mill scale off their chromoly. I mean, at least you should. That's the proper way to do it, so you have the cleanest welds, no imperfections, no porosity, no dirty stuff in your welds. You know, we want to make these cars as safe as possible with the nicest welds. So typically a lot of guys will take the chromoly tubing and a grinder here. They will grind the tubing just like this. You know, you'll notch your tubing, you'll grind it like that. Basically, the thing that I hate about this most is that you're flat spotting the tubing. So most people, this is a Scotch-Brite, which really takes a long time. So most people usually use some sort of a flap disc or a sanding disc, which is a lot more abrasive, and it puts flat spots in the tubing. And no matter what, if you're doing any kind of paint, or whether it be rattle can, urethane paint, or a powder coat that does not have texture to it, then you will see the flat spots in the tubing if you really start looking at it. It definitely takes and makes the OD smaller in certain spots, which is essentially making the wall thickness of the tubing thinner. So it does take strength out of it. For one, and for two, it's just not the nicest way to do it, and it takes a long time to do it. The biggest thing that I've been preaching about this system that we're releasing with this product is that when you polish a piece of tubing, you know, you go ahead and you polish this whole piece of tubing, let's just say. If I want to put weight tabs on this tubing anywhere or do my motor mount tabs here, I don't have to just sand here and here where I'm welding and then later come back and have to sand again where I'm doing the tab. We spend maybe a few more seconds with our tube polishing set to do the whole tube, and later we can weld anything we want on this tube anywhere at all times without having to grind, without having to flat spot it or any of that stuff. Let me show you guys how easy this is. So I've got some 1.5" tubing here. We're going to take our 1.5" fixture. These have color-coded thumb screws right here, and this just goes in like this. You go, you tighten the thumb screw up, piece of sandpaper. You can get anywhere at your hardware store, auto buy supply store, Amazon. Let me just show you guys. This is going to give you a nice finish that's going to be round. You're not going to have any flat spots. It's going to be quick, and it's going to be effective. Look at how nice that is. This gives you the same finish that we have on our shop car here. You can do pieces of tubing as short as this, 4 inches. You can do pieces as long as 8 feet. You could do longer. I mean, the inner frame rails of this car, I polished with my tube polishing set. Those inner frame rails there are probably 8-9 feet long when it's all said and done. It was a 2-person job, but we were able to do it, no problem. You can do any piece of material that you're able to reach by arm's length this way on the drill. It's a really handy tool that you're able to use by yourself. You don't have to have a lathe. You don't have to walk from tubing notcher to the lathe, back to the car. I mean, literally, we have our bender right here, our notcher right here, and we keep a set of these tube polishers right next to all that stuff. That way I can do all the work right here and not have to walk around the shop. Saves me time. No flat spotting the tubing. Everything is set up in this car where if I want to add an accessory, I don't have to do any kind of sanding on the car once I have my piece in place. If I want to come here and I'm going to put tabs all along here to fill these voids with carbon, I'm going to be able to do that now without having to come back and sand and do anything. It's ready to go. It's prepped, ready to go. So the biggest thing also as well added to all of this is once you do this to this piece of tubing here, it's ready for paint. A lot of guys will take and do an etching prime and everything else, whereas with this, the whole piece of tubing is sanded, and you're just going to get that much better adhesion with the whole tube being sanded, with that etch prime and with painting your cage. So a lot of times seat belts are going to ding the cage here. Even with carbon fiber protectors, you're still going to get dings. Your shoe's going to drag across here. You're going to have really, really, really good adhesion having the whole tube sanded to where that paint is going to adhere. It is not going to chip. It's not going to flake off. None of that's going to happen. There's tons of benefits to polishing this tubing besides you guys watching these videos and it just looking cool as whatever, you know. I don't want to say that word, but cool, you know, just looking nice. Everybody goes, oh man, is that chromoly? They go, it looks like stainless. It's just chromoly that has the mill scale removed. It's polished. It looks awesome. It's functional as far as paint adhering, putting tabs everywhere. It's just the way that I feel like you should build your cars if you want to take the time to do it right. And these set of tubing polishers that we're making now is the only way to go if you're going to do that. So check out the link below, innovativeracecraft.com. We got full sets of these ready to go, ready to ship tomorrow.